But still, it's tradition.
All right.
All right.
Has to work. Yeah, it's loading.
No connecting. All good.
No, all good.
That is really weird about the version that we're on.
Yeah, this
okay,
is the one.
good look.
Yeah, it's a bit like Brightston, this one. It's got the same sort of rocks.
Okay, here we go. Oh, not that quick. Oh, that. Oh no, it's not a good start. Oh no, not what I wanted at all.
Mm. Mm. Well, you've got your driving accuracy back, Dave.
Well, I'm not dealing with 22-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't think it was the winds that were making all those balls pull to the left last Thursday.
No.
He hardly hit a fairway, Andy. It was the opposite of usual Uncle Dave.
Well, that's not like you at all, is
No.
it?
He still won, just to rub it in.
What have we got here? 145. Fine. Ah! Come back on the wind. Come back on the wind.
Well, it did. Well, no, it almost did.
Not quite.
Well, that's it's not the ideal short ironing.
No.
Right. 146. Flopped. Come down off that bank. Big bound. Roll. Oh, don't stop there.
I'm beginning to wish I'd set the greens as hard.
Oh, you went soft ones.
No, I didn't go soft, but right. Okay. It's not a bad line if it gets over that bunker.
Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, Andy, what a start. From being in the worst position to being in the best.
Well, what can I say? That, you know, talent will always shine through in the end.
The English batsman was saying that in the first couple of overs as well.
Well, we'll just gloss over that. I mean, the trouble is with them, we're so far away from home. They've got to stick with the squad that they've already got. They can't sort of suddenly draft in somebody else.
No, it's like the space shuttle mission. You're kind of stuck with what you got. Right. I can't see much break on this. Just going to do a little super flop. Stop.
It's not bad.
Looks reasonably flat.
Right. Settings, players. Line indicator, will turn that off. It says I don't. Okay, right. Oh. Don't hit it too hard. Oh, he's read it.
Right in the middle too.
Gorgeous.
Wow, statement.
Statement. Oh. Yeah, you see, all this sledging about the English cricketers has had the opposite effect to the one that you intended, Dave. Just
It fired you up. Uh-oh. It's a problem.
okay, here we go. Right. Oh, I tell you what, these driving holes are bloody tough. Right, let's see where I'm. Oh, right. Okay. I don't like this drive at all. Not one little bit. That should be okay. Should be okay. Oh no, it's too far. Oh. I wouldn't care. That was exactly where I aimed it.
Oh, that's good information.
This is a beautiful course.
It really is. So interesting.
Have I done the same thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
That bunker it's a ball magnet. Okay, well, seems to me the obvious answer is to go to the right of that bunker.
Well, that is the obvious answer. You might have drawn it into the... Oh, no. Oh, yes, what a good shot that is.
Well done. Oh my god. This is not right.
What's the matter, Dave?
I've got a 15% power loss. I've got to hit the 5-iron. I don't think I can clear that lip. Oh, great. Oh, well. Oh,
do you want me to grab a hold of that jacket, Dave? Because it seems as if you're already feeling the pressure.
No,
a little bit of.
It's all under control.
Well, if you change your mind, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to.
No trouble.
Okay. Oh God, I don't like this. Now, if you took the 5-iron, can I get a 5 wood at it? Oh, can I get a 5 wood at it? Trouble is, the 5 wood has got very little.
You went for it?
Yeah, I ended up taking the 6-iron because I didn't think the 5 would clear that lip.
Well, if it's any consolation, I took a 4-iron there.
Oh,
I've
really?
ended up in the same position as you do. It's time for you to pounce, Dave.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a slight advantage here. Let's see what I can do. Are you very good at chess, Andy?
I play it, but I've played it against computers, and unfortunately, when I set the level, sort of, approaching sort of medium, then all of a sudden the computer stuffs us every time. It's
Yeah. I'm one of the things I'm not 100% proud of, but I was in that room with Mum for a long time. I bought a chess program. I taught myself how to play chess.
Really? Right. Okay.
I learned about controlling the board with those 4 squares in the middle and how you should always have men on there and try and hold control of them and all that sort of stuff. And I've discovered I'm pretty bad at chess, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to
it's definitely an interesting game. That would be a cerebral exercise to play online, because you could rattle through a game of chess fairly quickly, as long as you weren't bloody Parkle. I mean, you'd be having the 10-minute sort of clocks on.
You get a three-minute synopsis of every shot, every move. But, yeah, we could do that one day, maybe, Andy. Who knows?
Yeah.
And if we're too unequal, we'll stop and never speak of it again.
Yeah. No, see, I've never played. I find it artificial playing against the computer because unless you really dumb it down and the computer starts doing, oh, what a good shot that is.
Oh my God, that was good. Wow.
Yeah, unless you start dumbing it down a heck of a lot, it can be a dispiriting experience.
Exactly. The way I did it, I started at the lowest level and I just inched my way up ELO level to ELO level and just see how I went. But the worst moment of playing chess.
Oh, another great shot.
I'm in there with my dying mum and the nurse walks into the room and I didn't realise because they had quiet shoes on. And she's walked into the room just as I've just gone, yes, and done a fist pump. I was supposed to be in there supporting my poor mum, and she sees that. It's embarrassing. Mum wouldn't have minded.
No.
Yeah, I think we're all learning the hard way. It's all about pace. When there's no BLI, doesn't matter if you miss.
Well, I'm seeing the middle of the hole tonight, boys.
So did you see the show The Queen's Gambit, Andy?
I think I saw an episode, but I didn't persist seeing the whole series. I don't know what it was about it.
I enjoyed it. He was a very likeable person. That was the thing.
Well, you're not going to like me very much after I've put this to within 2 inches of
Fighting words.
It's not bad. Stop there. That'll do. No, stop. Oh, come on. It's not too bad there.
Well, if Andy thinks that's 2 inches, I want to sell him real estate.
Well, there was a slight technical difficulty at this end.
And look at this. Uncle Dave just says nothing and responds. No, he's blown it as well.
Thrown it right out the back.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow. It's getting worse by the moment.
Can you
All right.
can you feel something on your shoulders, Dave? You know what that is? It's the feel of the jacket just easing off your shoulders ever so slightly.
All right. I've got a cunning plan.
Very nice.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that hit the 183. Oh, Andy might have.
I hit the 195, as you can tell.
Yeah, I knew you had.
It
Wasn't sure
boomed.
about that.
It boomed. That's all right. It's all good.
It's in super flop range. No harm yet.
No! This reminds me of my round today at Ross Bridge.
Mm.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
Uh-oh.
No, don't worry about it. It's just the guy from archery.
Okay. Oh, I like this. Let's just see this. Okay, I'm reading it a little bit left to right, maybe. Oh, I did read it right and all. I just didn't hit it right. Oh. Oh, that was a dandy shot of yours, Dave. 13 feet away.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a chance of sinking it. Doesn't seem to have too much on it.
Oh.
What the?
That was also some great information. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You don't sound so
Dave,
sure.
what's going on? I feel there's a sense of discombobulation in Ballarat at the moment.
Oh God, there is. Trust me. My short game is rubbish at the moment, as you will see when you play Ross Bridge. It really was not. I was all out of sorts.
Oh, I'm looking forward to playing it now. Yep.
Yeah, the Butcher of Ballarat had a holiday in round one.
Oh. Right. Oh, I don't know which way this is going, so I'm going to hit it fairly straight. Oh, I should have gone with the little left to right. We have slight variation in the leaderboard.
Yeah, just like that, England lose their first wicket.
Well, that's a good drive. That's
Lovely.
It's not a giant landing area.
holds.
Right. This green, it's one of the most amazing greens in any perfect golf course. It's fantastic.
I can't remember whether I chose difficult pins.
Don't you dare.
Oh.
What is it?
Rough.
It's rough.
I'm screwed.
You are screwed. Right. Yeah, words of support.
You are screwed. Man up, get over with it. You put yourself there. That kind of thing.
That's it.
Well, I've got a feeling you've got the right club there, Dave.
Lovely.
Oh, no.
Oh, so close. One more metre and that bounds forward right next to the pin.
174. And having said that, though, I'm closer than you.
Yes.
178, yes.
Oh, you still got to work out what's up.
Indeed. I still think it's the 5 iron, but I haven't got it, so...
You can come to me for advice if you like.
I'll come and nick your club. This isn't bad, you know.
Oh no!
Yeah, same. It's
Wow, Dave.
One more metre, it would have been so much better.
Okay, right. Well, I'm gonna need to go 166. Oh. Okay. Hang on.
Not very flat, but still okay.
No, it's... I didn't get the fade.
Yeah.
I've lost the ability to hit a fade.
It's all about the
go back to square one.
You can't go back.
Oh, what a good shot that was.
Still plenty of work to do.
Okay, right. Oh, come on. It's got to be left to right. Got to be. How much? It's one of those putts where the more you aim it, the more you've got to...
They're the worst sort of putts.
Okay, right. 46. Not a bad place, though.
Perfect.
Great putt. Really great putt. Yes. This does not have much in it.
Is it? Close. Oh no!
No.
Oh, Dave!
I knew there was break on it. I just didn't give it enough.
I'm trying to think of the last time Dave lost on a Monday. It must be a few weeks.
Well.
Well, I haven't lost yet.
Sorry for writing you off. Actually, I retract the statement. That was harsh. Sorry.
It's just a tad harsh.
I'm not saying you have lost. I'm just making a comment in general.
Right. Okay.
Well, if you recall, Dave, you and I did tie maybe a couple of weeks back, because I'd made the point that we hadn't tied for,
Yes.
since the year dot.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Oh, too far right. I reckon this is drivable for sure. If you get the right bounce on that fairway, it's going to run up to the pin.
Indeed, it will. Or even go into the water.
That's always the risk.
Well, as long as it gives me a drop just there, I don't mind.
You'll still get a par.
Yeah.
Sure. No, Uncle Dave's. Has he got this right?
That is the line.
Oh, baby.
Jeez. He's done it.
Come on, fight back.
Oh my God, what a shot. See what
of
happens
course,
when
you bloody trap.
You should never sledge Uncle Dave. He'll do things like that to get back at you. Now look what we got. Oh, 87. I think this is just a standard 84-foot splash. Nothing more. Nothing fancy. Aim a bit right, hit a bit faster on the downswing.
Okay. 54 feet. 10 downhill. 54, 10 downhill. I think we'll just flop it. Could have done with being a little bit longer.
Yep. We've both got lovely little white knuckle left to right sliders.
It's a great putt there.
Yep, lovely.
All of a sudden, opening up some daylight. Oh, my word, what's going on?
I'll take that eagle. Gets me back in the game.
And he's gone from first to last in about 2 holes.
Well, I can't see anything either way, so I'm just going to belt it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's a couple that have really slid by. Not been bad putts, but there you go.
Well, some brutal corrections going on there.
From hero to villain.
Oh no.
Might be all right, or maybe not.
Oh, Get away with that.
Yeah.
Oh, not really. That's fucked.
Well,
That's
just
par
trying to work
5. I'll
out
take the medicine.
if this is reachable or not in 2. Don't want to. Cut it as tight as I think I can.
Yeah, perfect.
It is perfect now.
Oh yeah.
52. Come on. Oh, you bloody camel. No. Ah.
You're taking a very different line there, Andy.
Yeah, unfortunately, my man was lacking in the ability department. All of a sudden, I can see the man from Melbourne just striding away from the field.
Well, this feels like a key shot. If you can get this right.
If you get this right, you'd almost be thinking about having a press conference on the 9th tee.
It's looking okay. Oh,
Looking more than okay. I think you should go back to playing chess again, Dave. Far too bloody.
That will be against you, Andy.
All right, let's just see where this goes. Oh, goodness me. Okay, right. Hmm. Well, at least I avoided the really heavy rough.
Yep.
And it's not too bad a number. Oh, God, I've got to make sure I don't duff this as all sorts. Okay, come on, just pull yourself together. Mm. All right, come on, come on. It's not bad.
Oh. Yeah. It was better than
I
the
mean,
result.
yeah. Trouble is, the last 2 holes have been should have been pickup holes, and they haven't been so far.
Mm.
Did you get all the stuff that I sent you, Dave, regarding to what invites I chose on the PGLS tour?
Yes, I did, but that was last week and all got dropped, and I haven't even looked at it. But I'm going to have to. There must be a cut-off date, I imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine it'll be fairly soon. But I know I'm pretty sure South Derby was a course which was on the American rotation. Funnily enough.
Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that, Andy, because I remember it I remember just saying, "No, I'll deal with it later," because there was so much going on. But yeah, I might have forgotten about it. So yeah, I'll check it. So it would be good to play all next year on the same tourneys.
Hmm.
The only problem is I'm stuck on Tour Pro at the moment, so that's going to put a spanner in the works. So.
Well, it'll put a spanner in the works until, and if you keep playing without the BLI.
Yep, I'm quite happy to adjust my game and get back to pro. So hopefully that'll happen in the next month or so.
Yeah. I mean, if you also mix in PGA 18 and PGA 9,
they don't add or change your handicap though, do they?
They do.
They do?
Mm.
Oh.
PGA 18 and PGA 9 both change your handicap.
Ah, I'm not sure why, but I was under the impression those two didn't.
No.
Oh, I know why I thought that. It's because you're not handicapped in those. Okay, all right, that's good news. So I'll make an effort to play the 18 and the 9 each week with no BLI, and we'll see what happens. I'm just playing dreadful golf anyway with Tour Pro. I'm having terrible rounds already, so I don't think it'll be long. It's a stupid system.
I think the PGA 18. I'm not sure whether there's a tournament on this week as well, Dave. So you can get a few rounds in before the next change.
Yeah, I've played the first round or maybe the first 2 rounds of PGA 18. I know that. So I'll finish that one off.
Wow. I'm falling behind here. What's going on?
Again.
Right. Well, you can. Oh.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay.
Oh, the cat's looking. He wants some food. If you want some food, fella, come on then.
When doesn't the cat want some food, Andy?
I wish I'd known about that bit of fairway, Dave.
Well, I learned from yours, so thanks, Dave.
Hey.
Come on. Right. Here we go. How far are you away? Oh. Oh, I don't know what to do here. Okay, right. Oh, God. Oh, well. It's maybe not too bad, that.
Yeah, from 66 out.
Actually, I even thought being in the bunker was not such a bad idea. Oh,
If it stops. Oh, no! Oh, come
it's
on.
gone.
Oh, it's so cruel. It's thought about it and then goes, nah, buggy out.
I'd forgotten how treacherous
A
some
lot
of
of
these
super
really...
flop practice, Dave.
Mm. Well, I need it, don't I?
It's also going to be a super flop practice. Bye-bye.
Oh, I can feel... Oh,
A little window.
a little window. I like little windows. Okay, come on, you can do this. Yes.
Lovely.
It's a gorgeous shot. Nicely done. Wow, that's ramped up the pressure.
You know, as soon as I saw this flag and where it was, I thought, this is... We've all had problems on this hole in the past.
Oh, no, don't.
Wow.
Come on.
Pull yourself together, Dave.
Yes, pull yourself together, man.
Oh,
Lovely.
yeah, it was lovely.
Maybe there is nothing in this. I don't know.
Well, it didn't move. Not to any degree that you thought it would. Oh, shit. That's almost where I aimed it as well.
Pretty much went dead straight.
There's your chance to level with me.
There we are, there's your poison. This cat approaches her food like a wounded animal. Is there anybody else nearby? Oh no, she's eating it.
But she thinks you're going to have a crack at it if she's not careful or something.
I think you need some bogeys tonight, Dave. You're the only one that hasn't had any. And, you know, I don't mind sharing them around.
I'm bogey averse tonight. I don't feel like having any.
Oh, that's going to work.
Oh, it's not going to get down there.
Didn't make it.
Oh.
It didn't make it.
Now it's an awkward putt.
Come on, get down in that little hole.
It should.
Go on.
when it will. Gorgeous.
Right. Come on. Come on.
He's done the Leighton Hewitt thing, Dave.
Which is what?
The gooseneck thing. Come on.
Leighton Hewitt always goes, come on, and does a big fist pump and he wins it. It's a good line. It's definitely going to carry. Will it come down? It might.
Don't stay up there.
It's thinking about it. It's going to be half-half. It's not fun.
Well, it's probably less fun than what you're about to go through.
You know, I think I've got the record for fun here. All right, let's see. F4 doesn't even work. I'm that far away.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. Fun. All right, so gut feel. Left, big time. That much.
Wow. $74 feet away.
Too hard.
Or is it?
Yeah, it's a bit too hard.
Not bad though.
Pretty good. Oh my God.
Bloody hell, that animal's still eating. Usually it just picks at food in the morning. No, she's still going. Okay, not bad. I thought you, the pair of you, find it much more difficult. Well, I've been caught out by bloody these putts today. Okay. Oh, bloody hell. The ones which have just gone left to right, like that one there, I haven't put any, I just haven't quite read that. Apart from the very first hole.
Which you read perfectly.
Yeah. But these slightly more subtle breaks, I just haven't read them at all.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
How the fuck that going?
It's on the edge, Dave.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this is going to be quite good for greens in reg, but very poor in putting.
Alright,
don't
this
think
is a real par
fairways are-
5.
It is. It's a par 5 with balls on it. Oh, I thought you were going to...
Come on. You can do
No,
no
I thought
wrong
you-
tonight, Dave.
You can't get on in two anyway. It doesn't make any difference. But I was leaning forward in my seat. I almost fell off.
You know what, I've come to be clear, but unfortunately I'm going to go into the rough. Yeah. Never mind. Like I say, can't really clear it. Get on in 2 anyway.
Oh my my God, that's one of those really short ones.
Yes.
What the? 220. I haven't done one of them for a long time.
Go for it, Dave.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Hmm. Oh, fuck me. I'm all over the joint.
What is going on, Dave?
Oh,
Have you had have you been indulging yourself too much at Christmas?
I have. I've put on a few kilos and my mind's a bit fuzzy, so...
I mean, he did a pretty big burp a moment ago, Andy. You might be drunk.
I'm playing like I'm drunk. Fuck. That was terrible.
Are you drunk, Dave?
I wish.
Ah. No, you need to come down here if that's what you want.
I've got no excuses.
Well, Dave, you are playing like a man who actually is thrown the shackles away in this game. There's very little going wrong for you tonight.
Yeah, I'm just playing with no fear, Andy. I'm just backing myself, and it's all working so far.
Come on, get over the bunker. Or get in it. I don't mind the bunker, it's all right. Better being in the bunker than the sand, that's for sure. The rough, I think.
Oh no! Whatever.
All right. Dave, would you like to step into my office?
Yes. What the fuck? Oh, whatever.
Okay, right. Let's... right. Ah! Well, it's another green bit boy.
Okay.
It's another 3-putt looming. Oh, God. Then boy races again, Dave. Oh. Well, it's not as bad as mine, Dave, but it'll be a little disappointed.
I went one club up and chopped it to try and get rid of the backspin. Didn't work, but it probably got a majority of it.
I'll tell you what, that's quite... I'm not sure whether I've seen that too often, a little waterfall effect.
Yeah, it's a very nicely done cook.
No.
Come and join me in the land.
Hopefully, Andy, hopefully I can show you the way. Yep, there you go.
Oh, that's even better.
It does appear to be right to left, Dave.
Fuck, I can't believe I've got to play a full shot here.
You do have to play a full shot, and it mightn't even make it.
No, I'm not putting. I've got to play a full shot.
Oh, wow. He did one of these last Thursday, Andy, and he knocked it to about 15 inches.
Mm.
Not this time.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Andy's got
Look, I'm not unhappy with the shot.
I think I'm just going to belt it as hard as I can, and it might just get over. Just get over the top. No. Well,
It did. Not exactly how you probably wanted.
No, sir. That's brilliant putt.
A little more spice on that. You never know. It's a
Lovely putt.
Lovely.
Fucking 8. Great.
Okay. Okay, 19 feet. Oh. I've gone backwards on this course. Gone backwards.
It's not a hole you would have been expecting a bogey on, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, a par has seen you stretch your lead out, Dave.
It's hard to imagine, but yes.
Wow, 5 and 6 shots clear after 9 holes.
Mm.
Very good work.
It hasn't been fancy, but it's been solid.
Yes.
I feel like I've hit a lot of fairways.
.61 yards. Okay. Oh, come on. Fairways hit from the mailman. 17%.
What am I? 2%?
You're 29%.
How? I feel like I've hit nothing.
Dave
100?
is 86%. Wow.
I must have missed one fairway or something. Beautiful shot.
Well, considering that was a 3-wood, that's almost gone as far as your driver has, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've improved my percentage from 17 with one shot.
Dave hasn't.
No. Well, that's not a bad shot.
Oh, where's the bite?
Kind of, but...
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, indeed.
That's definitely my worst approach shot tonight. I actually thought I'd hit it well. That's what's extra disturbing. Uh-oh.
Well, ever we needed a couple of decent putts now, Dave, to get us back in it, this is the time to do it.
Pick up 2.
That's the idea. That's the game plan.
That is the game.
Well, you gave me a bit of a clue there. Thank you,
That is
Dave.
good information. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's got to be that way.
So, are you on holidays, Dave?
No.
No.
No holidays. No, I'm working the whole way through. Get in, Andy.
Oh, it's
Jeez,
in.
Drained
Nice.
that one.
Banged it in.
So, what are you, indentured or something? Are you not allowed to leave, or?
No, everyone else has got leave. They got it in first. And I don't care anyway.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Dave. Good rescue.
I did get some good information from a couple of those shots leading up to mine.
Right. Well, one is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
All right, let's see. What did you do? You must have hit the 170 club, the one I don't have.
Oh.
So that means I have to chop
Would
the
you-
183. Well,
Would you like to borrow it?
I'm going to chop the 183. Oh, chopped it too much.
You did. Or did you?
Mm. And if you'd selected hard greens, that would have been pretty damn good. Let's see what Slas has learned from it.
Nothing.
It might come down off that bank.
There's a lot of shots going to the right tonight, Dave.
They're all going to the right.
And on Thursday, they all went to the left.
Yeah, and when I try to compensate for it, I hit them short. So I'm all
What
over
drugs
the
are you
joint.
taking up there, Dave?
I don't know. But this happens now and then.
Do
You're
you
either
know
on
what,
form or you're
Dave?
not on form. What's that?
It sounds like you're a man in undergoing some mental turmoil there.
Oh, it feels that way, trust me.
Some mental turmoil in that one. Didn't go right.
Didn't go right. Question is it going to be as flat as it is on the way back? I'm not sure.
We'll see. I'm gonna pretend it's flat and see what happens. It's coming in nicely.
It was adequate, but there's got to be.
Damned with faint praise.
Can't praise, yes, adequate. No, didn't see that. Looked at it from both ways. 6 feet. Shit.
My gut's telling me left edge firm. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I think if you had have hit it firm, you wouldn't have made it. Well, I've got left edge and I'm... Oh, I've got to hit it reasonably firm.
Yeah.
Well, we've all come away with our reputations intact.
What we had left of them. Perfect.
Okay, right. Well,
It's interesting what line is correct here. Yeah, I'm not super keen on the line at first drive took. If I was playing Tour Pro, then I would be keen on that line because there's water to the right, but I'm just going to gamble and I'm going to hit it straight.
oh,
I've pushed it right. I think I'm gone. I'm gone. Damn it.
oh, it's...
Well, I've been hitting right all night and I don't care. I'm with Dave. I think that's the correct
He's
line.
in fatalistic mode.
It's just the man who's put all his chips on number one red.
The house is on red.
Oh, it's just
gonna
going to be
fine.
okay, I think. It is going to be fine.
Yeah, that's the line I tried to take.
Now he's sitting pretty a bit. But you're only 20 yards further than I am.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was so much risk and not much reward.
Oh, I like that. I love it.
Yep, gorgeous.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
Well, I've got to tell you guys, my tee shot was actually hooked. I was actually aiming for the sliver of land that you two are both on. Glad I didn't know.
Well, you had a great result.
So who watched the Webb telescope launch?
Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't.
It was,
No, I didn't.
unfortunately, one of the worst coverages ever.
Yeah, they've got a lot to learn from SpaceX, haven't they?
Yeah, like you saw about 4 seconds of the launch and then it went behind a cloud. Then they
Well, you can't blame them for that, but they could have had more cameras on the actual ship.
But there was nothing. It was all just CGI from that point onwards. It's like, come on.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah. Like, I'm glad it launched successfully, but it was pretty much a non-event. Yeah, as you say, the SpaceX stuff is great.
It is.
Very entertaining to watch.
Not a bad shot. Dave and I, on our game last Wednesday, did he tell you about what we did or not?
No? Or did you?
No.
No.
Well, Dave was ended up, I think he was something like 4 shots ahead with about 6 holes left. And within 3 holes, I think I was then with a 2-shot lead playing the last 2 holes, and Dave
he did tell me. He did tell me.
Amazing game. Well, we both thought we'd won it, and I mean, a half was ultimately a fair result, I think, but it was a game of missed opportunities by both of us.
Yep.
It was amazing, and what it means is, Dave, that when we play on Wednesday, that final battle decides who wins for the year.
Exactly.
You couldn't have a better setup.
No, fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, and Andy's last putt lipped out, and I described that to you, I remember. Yeah, it just lipped out, unbelievable. And his first putt of the round lipped out, and his last putt lipped out, and ended up drawing.
That's pretty cruel.
It was cruel. But you have to accept fate.
Yes.
I was happy to accept that fate.
But I think Dave had didn't you have a plugged lie at one point?
Yeah, I did at one point, yeah.
But you recovered reasonably well. It didn't cost you too much.
It did not deviate 1 millimetre. I saw
the deviation was so slight, but
the best response would have been, the deviation is in you, Dave.
There's definitely a break. No, of course.
Yeah, if you hit that, it would have held the line and gone straight in the middle.
Right. Oh, God, this looks dead flat. I don't know why aiming the bloody barber pole is going to do anything.
Not much.
Come on, it's got to be, one of these putts has got to be flat. Oh, you bag. Oh.
It's taking you this long to get your first bogue, Dave.
Yes.
Oh, God, I nearly missed that one.
But I think it'll be the only one of the night for you. You're playing too consistently.
604. Where the hell is this going? Oh. It's just. Okay, right. Come on. That'll do.
Gorgeous.
Okay, that's part one done. Yes.
So, Dave, I'm not sure if I've warned you about this, but one night I set a password for a golf game, and the password was Bender, and Andy read that a very wrong way to what I meant. So I meant, a big night on the piss.
Yes.
And Andy, he's gone full English twang. Bender means a different thing over there.
It's a bit like the in-betweeners, they called him a bumder at one point. But yes, I know what Andy thought it meant.
Yeah, so, not a good password.
Yes, it brings back all sorts of memories, that one does.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Dave hasn't heard the story that when I grew up in town, there was a guy who lived in a flat above a sweetie shop, and he was called John the Bender for obvious reasons.
Regarded with great suspicion by everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the show The In-Betweeners, Andy?
No, I haven't actually. It's one of those shows which escaped the radar at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of gutter humour, but it can be very, very funny at times. But it's not for everyone. You might watch 10 minutes and go, I hate this show. But I liked it. I got a lot of laughs out of it. And mainly because I was learning a bit about English sort of slang and culture and stuff like that. It was good.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, it's okay.
It's fine. All right. I'm 303 out. How can you guys not go for this?
Because we were 330 plus out. You hit your driver. I think Andy hit a 3-wood.
Yeah.
So did I.
Right.
I'm totally going for it. I'm just waiting for the wind to change.
Yeah, we can't all be accurate brutes like you, Dave.
I'm not saying I'm going to be. I'm not saying I'm going to be an accurate brute. I'm just saying I'm going to go for it.
Well, we're just talking about the drive that you did.
I would rather that you were an inaccurate brute.
Well, let's see what happens, because this wind is not cooperating, and I'm going to lunge at this, I can tell. As soon as I see a slightly forward wind, I'm smashing it. I've got 9 mile an hour sideways, close enough.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst drive ever. That was a full drive with no modifications, and look what it did in the air.
Was it a driver you hit?
Yeah, a full driver.
Well, you might as well have just hit a 5 wood. You...
I'm a complete bender. It's a shocker. No, I'm not a bender. Tosser? What's the right word, Andy?
Yeah, that's another one. Tosser, bell end, knob end.
No,
Yeah.
I want to take the one that doesn't imply gay.
Yeah, bell end was used a lot in the. Oh, very good.
Good shot.
Mm.
Tosser.
Bounce, bounce, and bite. Bounce, bounce, bite. Oh,
almost.
Nearly, very, very good. Oh, I bounced a bit too early. I think I've got a horrible shot. Yes, I have. Bloody clueless. Really clueless. I think the breaks are often more subtle, but it's reading the subtle breaks which I'm struggling with tonight.
Oh, just hang on.
Yeah, I've sunk almost all my putts based off the information I've seen from other putts. They're hard to read.
Right, let's just make sure I'm not going to do anything stupid here. Okay. Good birdie from you, Dave.
Hey. All right. Oh. Okay.
Well, you've bisected those bunkers. I don't think you're aiming for those.
No, I wasn't. I was aiming left at that other bunker, but
yeah,
that's sort of worked out all right.
It is.
Well, that's also a very efficient line.
I was concerned about the bunker that Andy cleared, that I wouldn't be able to.
How much closer?
20
yards.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. Well, the brute in me revealed itself.
Yeah, I'm following Andy. Pulled a bit left, but I might get away with it. Oh, that was lucky.
Huh?
And a bit of a disgrace, I might add.
Well, I'm not going to argue that point with you, Dave. I would agree with those sentiments unreservedly.
All right, that's enough agreement.
I always think when somebody says, I agree with you unreservedly, actually means they don't agree with you at all.
Generally. The sarcasm meter is going right off
Yeah.
that. All right. Oh, it's time for a super hook. We're super hooking a 3-wood in here, maximum loft against the wind. This is going to be so exciting. For me, not for you. All right, here we go.
It might be exciting for us as well.
You know what? Based on this wind, I don't think I need the super hook at all. I'm just going to go straight at it. Maximum loft. Just need 13 mile an hour wind. Come on. Oh, that'll do.
Well, I think you've done a very cultured little draw, if that's all right. It is lovely. Good shot. It's a beauty. A shot of the night. There's my mouse gone. Right, well, seeing as you, I'm not going to be quite as ambitious as you, Dave. The only problem is, what can I do? Well, it's not as good as yours, but it's
still a nice shot.
That's serviceable, Andy.
That was perfect distance.
Yeah.
And I might get a little bit of a read from this.
All right, let's see what. Oh no, get away. Okay, right. 37-12. It's not bad, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Not great, but.
31.5. Oh! Way too hard.
You both got a little excited. Assume this is nearly dead straight, inside right edge. Oh, it went the other way.
Good.
Yep.
What TV series are you watching at the moment, Andy?
We've started watching Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, I love him. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he plays a lawyer who was part of a big sort of firm, and for one reason or another, we don't quite know why, but he's although his name is on the original firm that he was a partner of, he no longer works for them, and it's It's really good. I like the edge that he introduces in virtually all of his conversations.
Yeah, I'll never forget him from season 1 of Fargo. I'm not sure if you saw that. He was fantastic in that.
Yes.
It's one of the best series of TV I've ever seen.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he also played the bad Santa. Is that right?
He did, yes.
I loved him in that show.
Yeah, he was he's just a great actor. He can do so many things.
Oh, God. Didn't realise I was going to get that far down.
Did you see season 1 of Fargo, Andy?
Yes, I've seen season 1 Fargo, where he played the assassin, didn't he? The killer. It was just so funny.
And he was a prankster at the same time. He was just great. He just didn't care about society's rules. I loved it. Oh.
What are you doing? You're in the bushes, man.
I am. I'm thinking about doing some dandy workers. Exactly. I don't really know what I've got up ahead of me. It won't even let me do an F3.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be doing anything in there, Dave. Come on. No metaphors.
You're right.
Well, at least he didn't say that.
F3.
At least he didn't say he was going to do an F2.
Or an FU. He hit it to 11 feet. How has he done that?
With skill and daring.
Done the best shot ever.
While we were sledging him.
Yep.
Just casually hits the best shot of the night.
They do say rage is fine spur, so
it is a fine spur. All right, now I'm going to super flop a 77. I reckon it'll be about right.
It's not bad.
It's in the vicinity. I'll take it.
No. Try to pitch it. Just needs to go in, I feel. Okay, right. Oh. It moved after the bloody hole.
Of course. All right. Yep. Get some left to right here. Though there's no downhill to this, just flat. So there's that. It still feels like a lot. Oh, God. The further I go out, the further I want to go out. Jesus. Yeah, thanks for the late break. Might be enough.
Okay.
oh dear. All right. Turn out, son of a. I was twisting and writhing in the chair. It didn't help. And then I had my golf shot.
You beat me to it, Dave.
You know me too well. Oh, nice, Andy.
Yeah, that was nice. And reminded me to hit this left edge just in case, inside left edge. Jesus Christ, it didn't break at all.
Well, another hole with potential for all sorts of mischief.
Mm.
That's a really nice touch. Those old wooden posts, just showing a bit of decay almost.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful course, and by far the closest thing to Bridestone we've got, which was always one of my favourites in links.
You just enjoyed the ghost that would come out now and then.
Ah, the ghost.
The Lady of the Rock.
Mm.
Come on. Don't go too far. No, that's fine. Oh, God, my drive has come back, but it's far too late in the game.
Far too late.
Oh,
It'll make it.
Oh, this is a shot of a man who's brimming with confidence.
Shows no fear.
I'm brimming with something. Yeah, nice shot.
Mm-hmm.
If it decides to stop.
42. You want on 42? Oh, right. Oh, come on, be close. Oh.
You copped the downhill slope again.
No, it wasn't. Went 19 yards, that, as you say, because of the downhill slope. It's very, very accurate in that respect.
Lovely. And Andy's going to show you the way.
Oh, I love it.
Oh. Mm.
The only way you can thwart me here is putt off the green. It doesn't help you.
Helps me.
Good comment, Dave.
Okay, right. Well, it was a pretty solid putt, but...
Yes, interesting. I memorised everything that happened on that one.
Did you memorise it?
Yes.
6:22, 13, 97. Was that thrown your concentration? Random number, -1.
You're not going to put me off, Andy. It breaks right to left early and then goes straight and maybe a bit the other way at the very end.
It wasn't a bad line, had you hit it?
Yeah, all I got to do is hit it about maybe 3 inches outside right edge, and it'll break in and then straighten and go straight in the middle. Oh, I hit it too hard. Oh.
I say you hit with gusto.
I got excited.
You redeemed yourself. We haven't had any of those tonight. That's the first one.
A little misstep, but I feel like I'm going to fall over the line regardless. It's only 2 holes to go.
Yeah, we're not bounding away with it, so...
No, there's no bounding.
We all seem to have sort of got sort of stuck in the mud. There's nothing going on.
We got to this. We were similar differences after about 8 holes.
4 or 5. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
I think the back 9 scores will be almost identical. It's the front 9 which you.
Oh, it's not going to be enough. Oh.
All right, good information. What did he hit? Something. Ooh. Yeah, I know what you hit.
Oh, stop there! Stop there, you slimy ball!
Some of your reactions, Andy, are the best.
The jury is out as to whether the ball is actually slimy. It seems unlikely, but you never know.
You'd be praying for a slimy ball, that way it would hold the green.
It does sound like a line from the In-Betweeners, Dave.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That could be really good.
Yeah. You've hit the 183, haven't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I punched it. I wish I hadn't punched it now.
Well, I hit the 183, but I flopped it.
Oh. So if one of us had just hit the 183, it probably would have been right.
Possibly.
Yeah, I tried to punch the 170. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I knew you'd done that.
All right, 57, up 8, into the breeze. Perfect.
It's a top shot.
Right, 55 feet. Ooh, 4 feet uphill.
It's 12 feet of uncertainty there, Dave.
Right, well.
Yeah, I remember seeing a movie where some guy went to prison and someone asked him, "Are you scared?" And he goes, "No." And the guy goes, that means you're just too stupid to be scared. So I'm not scared of this part.
I'm like you. I could have sworn there was right to left in that putt.
I'm happy with the pace. That's all I've got.
Okay, it's a decent enough part.
All right, so you got to find some miracle way of picking up 2, Andy. Will it be a par 5 with water? What will it be?
467. Well, it's an interesting little par 4. Not so little either.
No.
Not over there.
It depends. Right where you didn't want to put it.
Oh.
Come on, get over that. Get over that. Oh.
Perfect. Well, I think I'm just going to follow you, Andy. You seem to know what you're doing.
That's a very dangerous assumption, Dave. Yeah, that's a little bit safer line and longer. Much longer. Well, I think you're going to get the lion's share of the stats tonight.
It feels that way.
Right. Okay, well, I've got to... Okay, right. No.
It's not bad, but it's not flat. Nowhere near resembling flat.
Well, the last time you were in bushes, you stuck it to less than 10 feet, so...
Yeah.
More often, Dave.
I've got to come out of this. I've got to avoid those bunkers altogether. I've got to run it up the green and roll back somehow. I don't like my chances here. 71. Oh God, this is horrible.
We all look forward to this.
I'm actually pretty happy with that. To be honest.
It's not. It's not a trivial part.
No, Christ no.
Right. So.
And here's the man of the moment.
I'd like to give myself a trivial putt. That would be the ideal result. And I've got a plan to do that. It works or it doesn't.
looks like it'll be all right.
I think it's worked.
It certainly has. Well, I think you can. There's only one scenario that could possibly work in my favour, but I think the chances of that happening are very, very slim indeed.
Yeah, you have to sink yours and hope I 3-putt.
And the thing is, if I sink mine, you are not going to 3-putt. I know that for a fact.
I'm going to go for...
You're only 10 feet away. You're going to lag it up to 32 inches or something.
Whereas Dave, he has no fear. He's going to try anything.
And you can show me the line, Dave.
He wanted a line. He's got it.
Well, okay, right. So that's I know nothing. Bloody useless.
Well, I can't blame you for getting excited, Andy. You only had one shot.
Slammed it home. Lovely.
So,
well,
I just started watching season 2 of The Great. Did you watch that show, Andy?
Although it's on Netflix, we've got to pay for it on our Netflix subscription. Doesn't include that.
How can it not? How can it not include it if it's on Netflix?
Because some of Netflix stuff is subscription.
That does not happen in Australia. If you have Netflix, you've got everything on Netflix. That's really strange. And harsh for you because you're missing a good series.
That's The Great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's... Oh, my God. I can't believe how much that means. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Well, if ever it turns up free, watch it. That's my suggestion. It's really good. And season 2 is just as good as season 1.
Yeah.
Just start watching it.
I'll have to have a check of that again. The box set we're watching at the moment as well. We'll probably watch an episode today. I mean, we generally watch it over lunch. Is Grimm. Ever seen that?
No.
Ooh.
What's it about?
Right. Well, Grimm is a reference to
Brothers Grimm.
The Tales Grimm.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and basically, a Grimm is a destroyer of these horrible creatures, monsters basically, and the monsters are only reveal themselves very occasionally, but Grimms, these people with special powers, can see them under certain circumstances when they get stressed or when they're frightened or whatever. The Grimm can see them, but ordinary people can't. So this guy plays a detective in Portland PD, and there's running stories throughout each sort of series, and it's I find it really sort of really engrossing. It's quite an interesting series.
Yeah, I like the twist that the Grimms aren't necessarily exposed unless they get stressed and they then can't hide themselves as well.
Well, it's not so much the Grims; it's the monsters. The Grims.
Oh, sorry, I meant the monsters.
Yeah, but if the monsters expose themselves, then they can detect that this guy who's called Nick is actually a Grim.
So then it's on. Yeah.
So I mean, he's quite a good Grim because he only takes out the bad monsters. I mean, there are lots of these they're called Vessen, who are actually quite good. So it's these creatures. Some are good, some are bad. The Grims, the main character is good, but some Grims are actually very bad indeed. They just go around butchering people.
Wow. So I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was kind of a twist on that, but much more simplistic. This one sounds like it's got so many more layers.
Yeah, and it's got lovely stories. It's a bit like the X-Files in one sense, because the X-Files usually had a story running each day.
Yeah.
Each episode, but they also had a long-running sort of theme as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I couldn't buy a bloody putt.
Well, isn't that a fantastic set of stats? You guys had all the bogeys on the front nine. I had nothing but birdies. And on the back nine, I had nothing but bogeys. You guys didn't have one, but still couldn't catch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well,
that's a really weird sort of scorecard.
Well, look at my fairways. I was only 17 at 9, so I must have hit every fairway coming back.
On the back nine.
Yeah, but look at the greens in regulation.
All the same.
Oh my God, that's impossible. I've never seen that before, ever. Wow. I'm going to take a screenshot of that on principle.
Right, well, I better...
That is impossible.
Do the honours and give you your jacket, which